Last year, this time, we took a similar visit. And so there's something to be able to compare. And we see that there's been a lot of progress in the work that we are doing in terms of the number of beneficiaries. If you compare last year to this year, many more farmers are coming onto the program. For instance, in Ashanti region, we were told that initially in 2020 and 2017, only 20,000 farmers were on the program. And that compares to the expected 350,000 for this year. So there's a huge jump from 20,000 to 350,000 in the Ashanti region. Significant increases have also been registered in the 4 other regions, Eastern region and the Old Borough region. So that is very encouraging. And it's also reflected in the quantity of inputs that we distributed to these farmers, the amount of seed distributed, the amount of fertilizers distributed. Of course, this year there's been a dip because they're all complaining that there's shortage of fertilizer, which is something that we will address in another time. What interests me were 3 observations. And always when you go out to the field, you'll find new things. The first is to do with the fact that there are so many valleys in Bono Ahafo and Bono East regions and Ashanti region, which could be exploited to the full to make Ghana self-sufficient in rice. And it's attracting a lot of interest, especially from women farmers. That what we saw in Bono itself, where we visited these ladies in the valleys who were breaking their backs in the 30-degree sun to harvest their crop, physically using their hands and their cutlasses, and which we found very pathetic because we could easily supply them with simple tools to cut their rice and also to process the rice into paddy and into meal. So, and they've taken a lot of initiatives, formed themselves into women groups in many villages, and a lot of individuals who are not even part of their groups are also working in these valleys. And I think with little encouragement from this ministry, the rice activity could be huge. And fortunately, we are expecting some rice mills, small-scale rice mills from Brazil, which we are hoping to get by the end of the year. And we are going to support them with some of these farm machinery to lighten their burden of production and to make their work more efficient and to add value to their crops. The other thing that we discovered was the production of tomatoes. If you talk about tomatoes, talk about Ofenso and Pualugu in the north. But the emerging tomato production industry coming up in Bono region, around Jene and that area, where we discovered this area where loads and loads, hundreds of young men and women from all over the country cultivating not even the highest value, the highest yielding varieties of tomato, but they are doing very well. And of course, the construction of a new factory, tomato processing factory nearby, just beyond Jene, is also a great encouragement. It means that they will have ready market for their produce, and the factory can also be working at full capacity. At the moment, it hasn't even been officially opened, but the samples of tomato paste that we saw and the packaging and so on matches anywhere in the world, which gives them the capacity to be able to export to West Africa and the other areas of Africa and beyond. So these are things, emerging new developments which are coming on top of their traditional engagement in cashew, cocoa, the other crops, maize, and so on. So you can see that there's some dynamism which is still very much alive. We come to Eastern region, the other thing we discovered was that a lot of packaging is taking place with all kinds of fruits, cereals, and others, nice packaging, which we saw last year. But this year is really exploded into many different types of competitive activities in value addition. So, we were very happy with what we saw. The setback of the first drought in the season, the late arrival of the rains by 6 weeks or so, which we were fearful might affect the crop development. We see that since the rain started at the beginning of June, the crops have really caught up, and right across you can see very healthy maize crops, green and so on. Of course, they are not getting the fertilizers, but in terms of the crop development, we saw that they were quite vigorous with the rains, and the Metro is talking about a continuous rainfall till the end of the year, which means we will have a very good minor crop, where now most farmers produce their output. So we are very hopeful that what we have put in place here in this ministry is working out in the field the way we expected.